what happened to Speaker Anita Among and Thomas Tayebwa? It is a lesson that must be learned to all NRM sympathizers that serving under the criminal NRM regime does not make you part of the dictatorship. There is a day Kizza Besigye made a blanket statement warning those who work with General Kaguta Museveni that they are just pawns in a chess game. And Kizza Besigye said these statements.
In doubt. All people who serve Mr. Museveni, regardless of the level, if they are not members of his family, they are pawns. They are pawns on the board. They are disposable. Regardless of who they are. Regardless of what they have done for him.
Not the speaker, at least.
All of the... I mean, you think the speaker is more important than Kayihura? You saw Kayihura overnight. I don't know where he is now, whether he's still in Bombo pleading with the General, with the General Muhoozi, I don't know, But Kayihura had power, So Anita is nothing in the scheme of things. And so is all these, brokers and agents that he uses. They are nothing. As long as you are not a member of the family, power belongs to the family. Let people wake up to the fact. Whether you are a businessman and you are an associate and you have become rich or what, know that you are disposable.
That is Kizza Besigye. I would want to believe that the purchase of the $3 billion car is not the reason why ANITA Among is being arrested. In fact, when you compare the route where the IGG came to say that almost half of the budget, that is almost 30 trillion or 20 trillion, is stolen every year, what ANITA Among stole was a teaspoon in an ocean. I'm not saying that he must not be indicted or tried in court. She must be tried. But even the people arresting him are the masters of corruption. So, the warning that was made by Dr. Kizza Besigye comes in handy. And for me, I feel bad that those two people were projects of the FDC. Even when they are occupying the high office, they never bothered to fight for Dr. Kizza Besigye or even try to influence. They were enjoying a person like Thomas Tayebwa went to Rupunjiri and came out to say that the reason as why Kizza Besigye is in jail is because he doesn't want to leave that his lawyers are playing ping pong. Not forgetting that even more other people were being added on the file. Such hypocrites. And God pays hypocrites in their right currencies. To an extent that the regime you suppose the same regime that is perpetuating sanity on you. Trust me, I want Anita Among to be indicted, but also I want the chief corrupter in this regime to also go home and be indicted, because we all know where the money goes. Truth be said, if you have been my ardent follower on this channel, I've always come out to criticize Anita Among as the administration of Parliament, saying that he's emotional, he's a thief, he's a corruption officer, he doesn't know how to preside over the house. And I've been vindicated. On the other hand, Thomas Tayebwa was very good when it comes to presiding over the house, but on a corruption beat, they are so corrupt to an extent that they are riding with the waves of the bad leadership. I remember one day on the floor of Parliament, Honorable SSEMUJJU warned the then Speaker Anita Among about the rogue statements and the bad manners of General Kaguta Museveni, and still today still stand. General Muhoozi should be arrested. An army officer cannot continue commenting on partisan politics. I keep on posing a question that just imagine if the Commander Land Forces, General Muhanga, made a similar statements on politics. Would have been in jail right now. A constitution is not supposed to be cobwebs that it catches a small insect. Right now, Muhoozi should be tried. And remember, when the opposition tried to summon Muhoozi, called the parliamentarians clowns. In fact, let me first play the tape when Honorable SSEMUJJU was warning them. Here's the tape.
David Mohoz, former CDF, and usually is the one who comes here because the Honorable Tafire doesn't come. He came and told Parliament that when soldiers and policemen are arresting people, they must identify themselves. General Mohoz Kainerugaba, he said, I disagree with that minister. When I raised the issues here of deploying soldiers in South Sudan, and Parliament asked the Minister for Defense to explain, immediately the spokesperson of UPDF dismissed him. He said that one represents us only in Parliament. General Erweru there, he was called a buffoon by the CDF. One by one.
What is the procedural matter?
I am raising it if you allow me background. One by one, whether ministers, whether UPDF soldiers, whether committees of Parliament are becoming victims of CDF. So the procedural issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, whether you should not get government at the highest level to tell us, because recently he said, you opposition, you are going to beat you during elections. For us, we are Tutsi. These are serious matters that, Madam Speaker, everybody, every sane person must be concerned with. They are not matters that can just be ruled and we continue. I mean, I don't know, Erweru is about to run away. I don't know whether David Moore sits in his office comfortably. The Minister of Defense the other day was here. So we all have become victims of this one man called Mohoz Kainerugaba. This Parliament must find a solution.
At least for me, I'm not a victim. For members, what we need to look at, where does that information come from? On social media, anybody can post anything, anytime. Next item.
Thank you, Right Honorable.
That is Honorable SSEMUJJU. So you clearly see that these people, when they're enjoying, they are oblivion of the fact of what is going on in the country. They cheer on bad leadership. They cheer on dictatorship until the dictatorship befalls on them. When ANITA AMONG was stealing public funds, when Johnson used to come out every day to condone, to fight corruption on the floor of Parliament, he used to say that that's the social media. He used to say that they're just fighting him. Now even General MUSEVENI is going after him. You know, General MUSEVENI knows how to do politics. When you taint yourself a lot and you become a threat to his PR, he will throw you under the bus. Not saying that he is holy, because we all know that corruption is in State House. IGG Muliagonja has ever come out to say that whenever he chases corruption, he sees the footsteps in State House. So you all know where the corruption is. But such people must be indicted. I agree. But the people indicting them are not also worthy to explain when it comes to the moral high ground of corruption. So for me, those who are remaining in NIM should understand that any time, the same sword that is cutting others will be soon falling on you. And as we edge on towards the transition, we are going to see more victims. The divorce will be messy and crazy. The first victims will be within the NNM before even they look for Bobby Wine. Because you are cheering on General Mohoz Kainerugaba, a serving army officer who's a partisan, who makes statements that corrupt our constitution, and we shall all be victims. Of course, as my PR remains truly Mr. Makendi Kabi Sulaiman Magli. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I'm motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Peace.